I've actually been looking forward to this next part of the program. The title of it, Hometown Memorial Day. And I think it's very appropriate that it be called Hometown. I hope I'm not stealing some of your glory here. If I am, okay, so what? I think a lot of the people who have been in Felton for quite a few years, decades I'm talking about, can remember when Felton schools, both grades K through 12, used to go assemble out on the front yard, or whatever they call it these days at the school. The VFW and the Felton Band and a few other organizations would march through town, assemble out there, and we would have pretty much the very same ceremony that we've already witnessed here. Most of us remember that. Most of us, when we think of Memorial Day, think of that. And like I say, I hope I haven't taken some of your glory here. But anyway, two of the people that were participants, therefore they're homegrown, and in fact they went through all 12 grades. At that time there were only 12 grades at the Felton School. You might call them sisters with different parents, because they both work diligently with community affairs. They both teach Sunday school. They both have a habit of walking and talking fast, and Dave, you don't need to nod your head on that. Both have husbands who help them, that is, with any project they undertake. They both love children. They both have worked at the Felton School. They're both actively involved with their grandchildren, one of which was up here singing just a while ago. They both have the same first name, and they both work in their family business seasonally, that is, so they are very well aware of what hard work is. With no further ado, I would like to present to you Jeannie Wood, Jane Werther's Hometown Memorial Day.
You know, it does make me feel good to hear Johnny say that, because it is part of my speech, and if he remembered that, then that makes my heart feel good. Over the years, we have had the privilege of hearing many wonderful speakers on Memorial Day. Some have talked about the past wars, the past conflicts, and the present-day situations involving the United States and our military forces. Certainly no speech will have a longer-lasting memory or could affect you more emotionally than the one given by Felton's own Richard Adams, who was a former POW. Because of people like Richard, we can proudly recite the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, and we love to join in the singing of the national anthem when it's played at any public event. With that being said, we want you to know that neither Jeannie nor I served in the military, so we don't have any military experience to share with you today. When Lawrence asked Jeannie and me to speak, he said he knew of no two people who were as patriotic as the two of us, and he just wanted us to speak what our hearts wanted us to say. Because of this, Jeannie and I entitled our speech, Hometown Memorial Day. We want to talk about living here in Felton, Delaware, and striving to continue to celebrate each Memorial Day so that all the fallen men and women are not forgotten. Some of you may wonder, how did we become so patriotic? Of course, we weren't born wearing red, white, and blue shirts and singing the national anthem, but being patriotic is a learned characteristic. Learning patriotism begins as a child with the guidance of our parents and our teachers. For those of you who grew up here in Felton, Delaware, like we did, you can remember, just like Johnny said, without a problem, how we learned to love our country and what Memorial Day was all about. And it was really ironic, because last night Dorsey Hammond called me and said, do they still have the Felton service there Memorial Day? I said, yes. He said, what time is it? I said, 10 o'clock. He said, I think I'm going to drive up from the beach. He said, because I have such fond memories of what we used to do on Memorial Day. So see, patriotism was learned at an early age, and it still carries with you forever. So we're glad to have Dorsey Hammond with us. I just want to tell you a little bit about that Memorial Day service. Other than what, maybe it'll be repetitions of what John said, but maybe you'll hear some few extra things too. First of all, we went to the school on Memorial Day because school was held on Memorial Day. We hurriedly practiced the song that our class was going to sing during the celebration. Next, the entire school assembled on the front lawn of the Felton School, which is now Lake Forest North Elementary. The fire siren rang as the trucks led the parade with their lights just flashing, and behind them marched the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts. And then came the sad-faced veterans dressed in their fine uniforms and carrying flags from the different branches of the service. As a young person, I often wondered why their faces were so sad. But then I knew later that they were remembering their fallen comrades. The high school band was last in the parade to enter the parking lot, playing a John Philip Sousa march and assembling in front of the flagpole. Now, this is the part of the program where we were going to have a band. I contacted the school and they said, yes, indeed, we can surely bring a band. Well, on Wednesday, I get this email that says they have booked 2 things on the same day. So needless to say, we did not get the band. But young people want to be involved. All you have to do is ask them, and sometimes even volunteer. So we have a volunteer today. She is a student from Lake Forest High School. She's a freshman, soon to be a sophomore. Her name is Aubrey Crable, and she's the daughter of Susan and Kenny Crable, and she would like to play the flute for us today, and she would like to play Amazing Grace because we think that would be appropriate today too.